endocrine system. قلنا تتكون من عدد من الجلانس الأورجان جلانس. الأهم أو أول واحدة في الجلانس هي الهايبوثالاموس. الهايبوثالاموس is a gland in the base of brain. طبعا هي attached to the posterior pituitary gland. هي تعتبر اللينك ما بين السنترال نيرفس سيستم والاندوكراين سيستم، لأنه الهايبوثالاموس يتأثر بحاجتين. الحاجة الأولى يتأثر بالسنسوري انفورميشن اللي هي جاية أو collected by a nervous system، وبالتالي الاستجابة من الهايبوثالاموس بواسطة بعض الريليزنج فاكتور اللي يتأثر على البيتيوتري، والبيتيوتري يؤثر على الأذر endocrine organs. Other things that الاستجابة مثلا اللي تجي من البيتيوتري glands and effect of pituitary glands on other organs that secreted some hormones or leading to formation of some substances. هذه substances في البلد can make feedback inhibition of the hypothalamus and control its secretion for this releasing factor. Hypothalamus, as we can see here, this is the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus controls the anterior pituitary by secretion of some hormones it considered as releasing factor effect on pituitary glands to release another hormone, or these hormones secreted by anterior pituitary gland will act on other organs. These organs are endocrine organs to stimulate them or inhibit them to secrete its hormones. In the hypothalamus, there are two types of the cells. These cells contain neurosecretory cells. Neurosecretory cells synthesize and secrete hormones in their cell body. In these cell bodies of this type of cells, the oxytocin hormone and antidiuretic hormone are synthesized and secretes. It secretes along the axon and to the terminal of the axon. The terminal of these axons found in posterior pituitary glands, and they stored here. If there is any stimulation of or on the hypothalamus, these cells are response, and the axon are releasing these hormones. So these hormones, antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin hormone, synthesized in the hypothalamus, but stored and released from the posterior pituitary gland. Also, the hypothalamus indirectly control the anterior pituitary glands. These hormones are secreted by hypothalamus. The first hormone is growth hormone releasing hormone and somatostatin hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, antitropin releasing hormone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, and dopamine. For the cellular mechanism of hypothalamus, it is the same in general for all hormones. First, the target cell should be recognized by the hormone, and also the receptors on the cells should be also recognized by the hormone, and the receptors also should identify the hormones. After recognition, there is the binding between the receptors and the hormone, and initiate for the alteration that will happen inside the cell. For the hormones that are secreted by hypothalamus, for the gonadotropin releasing hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, this is growth hormone, and gonadotropin releasing hormone, dopamine. These four hormones are similar in their mechanism of action, that start by binding to the cell surface, because all these hormones are polypeptide hormones, and this is hormone are amino acid derivative hormone from the tyrosine. The hormone are binding to the cell surface receptors, because these type of hormones, the receptors are on the surface of the cell membrane. After that, this is binding initiate conformational changes inside the cell that lead to activation of G protein. We can see here for these hormones, interaction between the hormone and the receptor, lead to alteration inside the cell for the G protein, activation of G protein, that lead to activation of adenylate cyclase. This is activate the converting of AMP or ATP to cyclic AMP and lead to phosphorylation of some enzyme and releasing of the hormone from the target glands. After the cyclic AMP, which is the second messenger for these four hormones, phosphorylation can be happened as intracellular response, and these proteins that will be activated by phosphorylation, it could be enzymes. All these hormones that were released will affect on other target organs. For the thyrotropin is slightly different from the other four hormones, but they are similar. They have the surface cell membrane receptors. They bind to these receptors and forming hormone receptor complex that will cause some changes inside the cells. For the G protein, the G protein is activated. There is consequences of some reactions. These reactions will affect on the phospholipase C. The type of G protein that affects on phospholipase C by activation, we called it before GQ protein. Increase intracellular cytoplasmic calcium. The calcium channels will be opened either to enter the ions from outside to end the cells or from endoplasmic reticulum to liberate or release calcium from the lumen of endoplasmic reticulum to the cytoplasm of the cell, and stimulation of thyroid stimulating hormone, because thyrotropin releasing hormone is the hormone that's effective in pituitary gland to stimulate pituitary gland for secretion of thyroid stimulating hormone. This is explaining for the mechanism of thyrotropin, hormone receptor interaction, alteration of G protein by activation, activation of phospholipase C that lead to calcium ion to be released through the opening of calcium channels and lead to thyroid stimulating hormone secretion. Thyroid stimulating hormone secretion will go now to the thyroid gland to stimulate thyroid gland for synthesis of T3 and T4. For the somatostatin also, its receptor on the surface of the cell membrane, and it will cause the conformational changes in the receptors that lead to activation of G protein and effect on potassium channels. But for this hormone is different from growth hormone releasing hormone by it is inhibiting growth hormone secretion from pituitary gland, while growth hormone releasing hormone it leads to stimulation of secretion of growth hormone. This is somatostatin, interaction between receptors and hormone, G protein alteration. But what type of G protein? GI inhibitor that lead to potassium channels to be opened, and these effect on the growth hormone to be inhibited and secretion. Thyrotropin releasing hormone. Now we will come to the structure of the hormones and function. All these hormones are polypeptide hormones, but for thyrotropin releasing hormone it is tripeptide, just from 3 amino acids: pyroglutamate, histidine, and polyamide. It acts on pituitary gland to stimulate them for the synthesis and secretion of thyroid stimulating hormone and thyrotropin that stimulate them to synthesis T3 and T4. for corticotropin releasing hormone, that is also polypeptide, 41 amino acid. This hormone that release from hypothalamus stimulate releasing adrenocorticotropic hormone from pituitary gland. All the hormones or releasing hormone that's secreted by hypothalamus affect on the anterior pituitary gland to synthesis and secrete its hormones. Gonadotropin releasing hormone, from its name, its effect on gonads. This is 10 amino acids hormone, and its controls synthesis and release of follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone from anterior pituitary gland. These two hormones will go in the blood to the gonads, male and female gonads, and stimulate them to secrete their hormones. Growth hormone releasing hormone, this is the opposite action or antagonist for the somatostatin. It is 44 amino acid hormone, and it is after its secretion from the hypothalamus go to stimulation the secretion of growth hormone from anterior pituitary gland. Somatostatin growth hormone release inhibitor, or somatostatin, or it's called also growth hormone release inhibiting hormone. This is 14 amino acid hormone, inhibit growth hormone release from pituitary gland. This is antagonist for the growth hormone releasing hormone. Dopamine or prolactin release inhibitory factor, because this type of hormones is amino acid derivatives from tyrosine, and on the secretion of this hormone that's called dopamine, it inhibits the anterior pituitary gland to synthesis and release prolactin, and in turn this is lead to the inhibition of the breast cells to produce milk. This is for the hypothalamus.